Local muso Georgie Winchester has just returned home after completing a solo 60-plus date tour around Australia. Since returning, Georgie has released her debut EP called Pretty Things and recorded most of her sophomore album at the Dashville Studios. We caught up for a chat with Georgie to find out about her incredible tour and what's coming up.
So, I've just been around Australia and I did a 60-day tour lap. Started going up to the sunny coast and then Airlie Beach. That was an adventure. I lived in a commune up there. It was so fun. We did fire twirling and all sorts of things. I was on a bit of a health journey, so I was like just trying to focus on running and eating healthy food and all that stuff. Dad flew into Airlie Beach and he drove with me across the desert into Darwin, and that was crazy because there were so many iconic places and it was just awesome to see all of that with Dad. And he also bought accommodation for us, so that was great. I was out of my van. So that was nice because I did the whole trip in my van. And then in Darwin, Dad left me and just kept going around to Exmouth and Broome and Exmouth and down to Perth and then over to Adelaide, and it was an awesome trip. And I literally didn't do anything except for rock up to my gigs. I played my gigs. And then other than that, I was just like meeting people, hanging out, going to open mics, surfing a lot up where there was no crocodiles. It got pretty lonely, but I don't know. It was also awesome just to do that by myself because I was so free and I could just do whatever I wanted. And with my van, I can always escape anywhere, you know. If I go to like some party and then I'm like, I hate this, I'm going to escape. And I can just sleep anywhere in my van. It's just chill. And I just met so many random great people. I flew over to Rockhampton at one stage and I was together with a whole bunch of musos, a lot of them from Melbourne. And, Rod Cute, he was there as well. So we got to hang out. I call him Rod Cute because he's so cute. He is. And, we played Rockhampton Riverfest and we all stayed in cabins together and just like had a good old jolly good time. And I played before Eskimo Joe, so that was pretty cool to be able to say. Yeah. So that was a highlight. And then what are some other highlights? I loved Exmouth. That was a really big highlight for me just because the lifestyle's so good there. Like just surfing and outdoors and nature. Everyone's living in their vans. Like the first night I rocked up, we went to a beach party and then I just made like 1,000 friends and I was set for the whole 2 weeks I was there and everyone was coming to my gigs and just, it was really nice. But Exmouth is such a good vibe. And then Fremantle. I just have such a connection with Fremantle. And I've got a fair few musicians who I know now because I've been there again, like they can play with me. So we had band shows and I played at Mojo's, which was like a really cool pub that I wanted to play for ages. And I played this sick skate shop last minute and there was heaps of people there and I had like a duo and it was just so flexible and random and I was like saying yes to all the opportunities and like really good headspace and stuff like that. And then when in Adelaide, it was a bit quiet. There was not much going on because it was winter. So I think I had one person show up to my show. So I was like, okay, Adelaide, cool. Well, the bar staff were there and some random pool players. But and I had some blow-ins who just stayed and watched me. But it was quiet. But I really want to go back to Adelaide in summer. I got this hat up in Exmouth and I went to a beach party the first night and I met this girl called Grace and she makes these hats and it's called Salty Yarn and you can get them online or on her Instagram. And she just literally knits and knits and knits. Like we're at a party and she's just knitting and socialising and drinking and yeah, she's a legend and she just sells all these hats and they're so popular. Like a lot of people in WA are getting around them. So yeah, I'm trying to bring it to Newcastle. Absolutely. It's really great. Yeah, I could pick between like 20 and I chose the red one. So I think it's a vibe. So comfy and warm. So I just recorded out at Dashville Studios, and Dashville is like a festival grounds, and they have Skyline, Gumball, Pigsty, Thrashville. And so I don't even know how it happened. It was one of those things where I didn't even have to do anything. It just happened. And I'm pretty sure Magpie was like, you should record out there. And a few other people were like, you should record out there. You should record out there. And I was like, okay, I'll just like ask them. And then they were like, the engineer and the producer. Engineer was Sam Troy. Producer was Chris Dale. If anyone's looking for some good producers or engineers, you should definitely go with them. But yeah, and they were like, yeah, we're cool to do that. And I sent them a whole list of tracks, and then we didn't. And then I rocked up on the day of the studio. I was like, hey, we still going in? And everyone was like, yep, let's go in. It was just so cruisy. And then we went in, and then I showed them a whole bunch of new tracks, and I was like, look, all those ones are rejects. I've got all these new ones that I've written on tour. So a lot of them, I'm pretty sure all of them I'd just written on tour. And I feel like I was super into drop D, and I still am. So the ones that I recorded today, they're all in drop D. But yeah, it's just good vibes. And it's like really, I feel like it's just earthy or something. I don't know. All of them I wrote in locations that were like desolate as heck. And just like reflecting on my life back here in Newcastle, but also reflecting on the experiences I had while I was away. I've got a mix between like my old life back here in Newcastle and dealing with like a lot of trauma and stuff like that, and then coming into my trip and having some experiences on my trip about like the landscape and the silence and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be such a good album.
Georgie has just released her debut EP called Pretty Things, which was recorded earlier this year with Garrett Cato. To celebrate its release, Georgie is throwing a massive launch party called the Pretty Things Fest.
Okay, you guys, Pretty Things Festival. Earlier this year, I recorded my EP up in Ocean Shores with Garrett Cato, and I gave him a list of songs and I played them all, and he chose the ones that he was like, yeah, we should do this one. I was happy to do any of them. And then we chose 5, recorded them, and 4 have been released already. So we've got 1 more to be released, and it's called Holes in the Walls. So once that's released, my whole EP will be out, and I'm having this really big, fun festival called Pretty Things Fest. And it's going to be held on the 2nd of November at King Street Hotel. I've got 5 bands on the lineup. We've got Stony Doves, Kingsley James, Boycott, Auntie Allen and the Uncles, and myself and my band. And yeah, we're having free lemon slice, so you don't want to miss out on that. And also, all the ticket sales are going to a women's legal services charity, which helps women get out of domestic violence situations, and they really need help with funding. So I think it's really important, and I really want to support them. So we're just giving 100% of ticket sales to them. And thank you to King Street for helping us out. They have given us a guarantee as well, so that's really, really nice. And Auntie Allen, who helps me out with a lot of my stuff, she organised the whole thing. So thanks to her, and we got Socially Designed on board, which is Josie, to do the poster. And the poster, it was an idea. There was like a 90s band in Freo, and I saw their poster, and it was like the sickest poster ever. And I was like, God, we've got to replicate this and make it our poster. And the band in Freo were like, yeah, you should do it. They're all older now and stuff, and so we're bringing it back. But yeah, definitely come down. The tickets are only $20 online, and if you want to buy them on the door, they're $25 on the door. But please get in quick, because I am stressed about ticket sales, as are every single event organizer. I've never done an event before, so yeah, get in early so I don't have to stress.